Let's get it, man. This is Dirty Salo. Shut 'em down radio. Shut 'em down radio.
The infamous Robert Stewart, aka Chef Stew, all the way from Baltimore. Chef Stew, give us a little background about yourself, please.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. Pleasure to meet you. And I always start by saying all good things come from God, but the helping hand certainly belong to you for this opportunity to share my story with you and the listeners. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Baltimore, as you pointed out, born and raised. So shouts out to Charm City. Went to a culinary school in Baltimore, kind of grew up cooking. Unfortunately, my mother used to work nights. Growing up in a single parent household, as many of us do in communities all across America, it kind of put me as the head of the household kind of early in the game. And by her working at night, you know what I'm saying, she would like have to leave about 2 o'clock and we'd be getting out of school at 2. And so like she would make stuff, but you know, coming home, your parents not home, you know what I'm saying? So you know, you ain't about to go and really eat dinner as soon as you get out of school. So by the time we go to eat, it's like 7, 8 o'clock. It's like, damn, this food's been sitting over there for a minute. So I complained and she said, I got an answer for that. You cook. And from there, I just, you know what I'm saying? I was just growing, cooking as a kid, and I had my little brother. He was like Mikey from the Kicks commercial. Give it to him. You know what I mean? He was my crash test dummy. And I just basically from that, And so from a kid, man, 12 years old, that led me into culinary school. And then from there, I just kind of went on my own restaurant mission. And we'll get into it as we go on. But that's the beginning. That's how I started, you know?
Yeah. So interesting. Does your brother still taste test your food for you?
Nah, he doesn't. Actually, I moved away, obviously. He ended up moving to another state. I ended up moving to another state. But he does, you know what I'm saying, you know, still enjoy a meal when we kick it. But he was like one of the only people who would always advocate for me to cook, because if you didn't really know me outside of like in the house type, it'd be like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, let my brother do it. Like, your brother? Like, no, he can cook for real. Like, yo, chill, bro. That's only when we in the crib. Don't be volunteering me to be, you know what I'm saying? But it turned into a business. So I'm glad my little brother was my crash test dummy.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. You definitely need somebody in your corner, and actually being that young is even more important to have somebody in your corner. And you know, who better could that be than your brother? Right there, pushing you, promoting you, tasting it. You know, even if he didn't like it, he was still trying it. And I know that set the path for where you are today. So I appreciate that, man. I do have a couple questions for you, man. These are just random curiosity things that are floating around in my mind. Is one, and this is probably something everybody want to know, is your signature thing. Like do you have a dish or two, a dessert, something that you make that everybody knows you make this thing? You know, what is that?
You know what? That is the number one question, and I'm gonna answer it so thoroughly for you, because what you get a lot of times when you ask chefs those questions, you know, they be like, they really don't want to say, because we all kind of try to make sure we got more than one thing that we really can do. So it's like you never get a straight answer when you actually chef that question. Like, because as soon as you say I do good ribs, then you start thinking about pasta, and you think, wow, Chef Steve, that's not his wheelhouse, but. I'm from Baltimore, so definitely the crab cake, I would definitely say it has been one of the signature items that as I go across the world, I always try to introduce people to an authentic Maryland-style crab cake. But at the same time, too, knowing that there's some stereotypes that float around ethnic backgrounds when it comes to chefs. And so even yourself, when you go to a Mexican spot, you know, you expect to be Mexican people back there. You go to an Asian spot, the same thing. You expect to that Asian man. So then when you look at the black person, sometimes you think, okay, ribs, chicken, fish, and that's probably, you know what I'm saying? So to really get accepted or accredited, so to speak, you got to start picking up. So once I kind of learned that, I specialized in fine dining, and I started to learn cuisine from all across the world. And then I knew that I would be challenging chefs on Food Network shows. And so if I went in there with that one hit wonder, there's a chance that I could get swept away first round, because I'm unfamiliar if they say make an Indian dish or make a Mexican dish or make an authentic, South African dish. And so it gets really challenging to try to learn all of this stuff. But what I did was throughout the years, just slowly pick the cuisine, learn how to make a couple of dishes in that cuisine, and then move on to something else. So to answer the question the right way, I specialize in food. You know what I'm saying? Anything I touch, I'm going to make sure it's right.
Yeah. Hey, that's that survivalist instinct too, though. You gotta obviously be flexible because everybody's gonna have a different taste, you know, preference, and yeah, you gotta be kind of universal in your approach. So I appreciate that as well, man. Man, I'm curious because you said your mom. Did your mom cook too? To the
No, listen,
point
that's the
where
craziest part. No, she was
okay,
horrible as a cook. So it was easy for her to pass
wow,
that baton over, and that's why sometimes we complain about the food. There was, she cooked it earlier. Then we complained about her shit was nasty. You know what I'm saying? So
yep,
it's like, and it's so crazy to kind of probably get ready to answer another question. Is that like my grandmother comes from? I mean, my mother basically has 12 brothers and sisters. So my grandmother had 13 kids. And so as that
wow,
kid, just to kind of add another layer to it, we would always go to my grandmother's house on the weekend. We grew up in Baltimore County, and so we would go to Baltimore City to hang out with the grandma. And it's like, the old fashioned where you go to Big Mama's every Sunday. That was us growing up.
yep,
And so like with all of those cousins and nieces and nephews and uncles and aunts, you know what I'm saying? Like I would learn how to cook with my grandma because she was making great food. And then when I went back home,
mhm.
I kind of utilized that. My grandmother would always tell me that out of all the kids, your mother, she never picked it up. You know? So I guess that jumped into me.
Yeah. So that's funny. Yeah, I know how that is, man. Sundays at grandma's house, and all the relatives over there, and yeah, grandma always cooking. Everything. It seemed like she knew what to do. Cast iron skillets, browning flour in the skillet, pouring in turkey juices and all that to make gravy, stuff like that, man. Yeah, those definitely memories that I'll keep. So, man, you have a. I went to your website and checked out some of the people that use you. They became your clients and things like that. And there's a few on there I want to mention because I'm just curious. So one, Damon Dash, music mogul. Did you cook for him? And if you did,
I did.
what's his preference? And what did you make that was
Um,
stand out?
but first, let me shout out the big homie Dusko Popperton. You know what I'm saying? I love Dame, yo, I really do. Dame is an amazing dude, man. I know he keep a lot around him, but I love being around Dame. I had an opportunity to cook
Yeah,
for Dame. The first time was actually in LA at an event. He had an Honor Up movie premiere, and he was also releasing a shoe with New Balance. Yeah, I think it was called the Get
nice.
Money shoe, and Dame was the person behind that shoe. I think they like made the shoe for Dame, so to speak. And
Wow.
so it worked out so perfectly that I had came in as the chef of the company that was pushing the shoe, and then had an opportunity to kind of use that same event to do it as a honor up little pre movie screening. And so he vegan, you know what I'm saying? Had to make him some dope vegan stuff. Shouts out to his wife Rocky as well. She was there. Styles Peas was there. Aja was there. So shouts out to them as well. But that
Hmm.
was the first time I had a chance to cook for him. And it was some vegan stuff. And then he ended up reaching back out to me a couple of weeks after we met. And he was doing another movie. I think it's called A Shot for Justice. And he had me come
Hmm.
on set and cater that for the crew. And that was another vegan dish as well. I think I did a vegan waffle and a vegan breakfast sausage. And then there was some people that wasn't vegan, so he told me go ahead and make some other stuff to make sure that everybody pretty much had something to eat. But it was an
Yeah.
incredible experience, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be in his presence and pick up his business mind. And Dame is like strong, he like cologne, you know what I'm saying? Like it rubs off
Yeah.
on you. You know what I mean? You stand next to him close enough, now you gonna smell just like the
Yeah.
dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
The
that's how that
energy,
went
good
down. But
energy
who
right
else
there.
you wanna know about?
Man, let's go down the list a little bit. What about Bobby Brown?
Actually, I didn't
I'll
cook
be
for Bobby
sure.
Brown in that picture.
Okay.
Didn't cook for Bobby Brown in that picture. That picture was actually a night after Michelle was performing. I went to support
Hmm.
her concert that night, and obviously Bobby Brown was performing as well. And so we got a chance to kind of meet up. And so I was trying to talk to him about his spices. He got his own Bobby Brown spice blend. And so I was telling him,
Didn't
as
know.
a chef, I use spice blends from all kinds of other people. So Bobby Brown, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you get some of them spices over the stew. And if who don't like, see, you didn't know about it. See, I could have helped
I didn't know.
Bobby sell some more of them joints. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
Bobby, stop playing with me, man. Send me a case of that joint and let me put it on some ribs and push your
Yeah.
push your spice blend for you.
Yep. Yep. What about Shaquille O'Neal?
Shaquille O'Neal actually was my first celebrity that I've ever cooked for. That's what
Was
really
he?
opened up the door. Yeah, I was working at Turner Broadcasting. When I left Baltimore, I moved to Atlanta in hopes of becoming a restaurant owner. I had a
Hmm.
takeover restaurant that I was going to do. Deal falls through as they always do in the journey, and so I
Yep.
ended up staying in Atlanta and started working, random jobs in the culinary arts industry to hone my craft. And so I started working at Turner Broadcasting, and so Shaq was doing a show, I think it was Inside Edition NBA or Inside the NBA, one of those shows what he was the
Yeah,
anchor
I
for.
remember those.
And they used to come
Yep.
through in the cafeteria, and so he came through one time, and I had a chance to cook him some breakfast, and then he came back another time. So I think you probably see me with him a couple of pictures, but Shaq really, he don't even know how inspirational he has always been for me. I had no idea that I would actually like. I was just cooking for anybody, right? So I take pride in my
Yeah.
sandwiches. I'm cooking for the postman, but then you know what I'm saying. Somebody like Shaq comes through and you get the opportunity to cook for him, and then more importantly, you know what I mean. I had a chance to share my vision with Shaq and let him know that at some point, Shaq, I'm gonna be big in this culinary arts industry. And meeting you just inspired it because now it made me think about, you know what? Maybe I should be trying to cook for basketball players and different celebrities. And so my son is a big
Hmm.
Shaq fan. I said, Shaq, I don't want to be a groupie, you know what I'm saying? But I need this picture. I tell my son I cooked for you with no proof. He'd never believe me. So he took the
Never.
picture and sent it to my son. And I posted it on Facebook. This is the power of social media, man. I posted a picture on Facebook, and 3 days later, they was calling me the celebrity chef. Now I'm saying, wait a minute, my phone about to get cut off. I don't even got no car. Y'all talking about celebrity chef? Let's slow that down a little bit.
Wow.
People seeing the pictures, man. It just sent off a little viral thing, and after that, a lot of people started to reach out and wanted to inquire about businesses and get me to do different jobs. And so, Shaq, whether you know it or not, you really helped me when you took those 2 pictures with me, brother.
Yeah, man. They don't. People don't know that. Sometimes they say it's who you know and stuff like that. There's obviously pure talent and people that are super gifted, but sometimes it's who you know. And it's that one photo you said 3 days later set things off
Yeah,
and
man.
just
3 days
another
later, they start calling me the
stratosphere.
celebrity. Look at the celebrity chef in Atlanta. He a basketball chef. He's an NBA
Ah,
chef now. And I'm
that's
like,
huge.
oh, for real? And I ran with it, like, okay, cool. So find me some other basketball players because Shaq probably got his own personal chef. But we
Yep.
gonna run with it. And from that, I ended up Turner Broadcasting was big because I ended up cooking for David Banner while there as well. So I got to shout out David Banner, and I
Nice.
got to shout out Tracy Ellis Ross and Malcolm Jamal Warner because they used to shoot the show Read Between the Lines. And while they were
Yeah.
shooting that show, I was the chef of that show. So I had a chance to cook for them as well. I didn't ask to take no pictures with them. Just trying to keep my
Yeah.
professionalism so I don't have the picture proof. But if you mention it to them, they'll remember Stu, who
Yeah. I'm sure.
made them
Yeah.
their little breakfast every morning. And I always think about it's a funny story because I called Malcolm Jamal Warner Theo, and he looked at me like he wanted to fight me. And so I realized that I said, somebody came back and said, look, he really don't
Hmm.
like when you call him that. And I'm saying,
Right.
damn, I'm sorry, but that is how I know you. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the next day he came in there, I was like, hey, Malcolm. Then he looked at me. So I said, sorry about
Oh,
calling you
that's
Theo
funny.
yesterday, but I did the same thing with Michael Knight. I asked him the dumbest question in the world when I met him. We were on a plane together one time, and I said, "Where's Kit?" And he looked at me like, "Well, goddamn it, it ain't in my luggage." What
Oh,
the
that's
hell you
funny.
mean? Where's Kit? You know, and so I waited. We flew the flight. Then I got off. I went back over there and apologized to him and said, "My fault about Kit, man. You know what I'm saying? I know Kit wasn't with you, but what else could I say to you? You mind taking a picture?" He bust out laughing and took the picture. So it's so funny that the backstories of the pictures in the journey sometimes.
Yeah, that's funny. I know they get asked questions like that a lot, jokes, but it is what it is, man. So, man, we're gonna switch up the pace here, man. I got to know
You
this
got it?
question because I've been always curious about this. So you're a chef. You know what you're doing in the kitchen. You know what tastes good, what don't taste good. Combinations of all sorts. What do you cook for yourself?
Bro, that's a great question. Uber Eats, Panda Express, Chipotle, Popeyes. I still like people be like, "What? You want Popeyes?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." Like, no, for real. I don't forget where I come from. So sometimes when
Yeah.
I don't cook, I eat out. But I cook kind of the same way I would cook for clients sometimes, but it's a lot of work, man. There's a lot of ingredients. So when it's just me,
It is.
I'm looking for the easy way out. Like, all right, cool, a burger, yeah, in and out, that sounds good. But if not, um, same thing I make. Last night, matter of fact, I made some black eyed peas, some white rice, and fried chicken. So
Oh, nice.
it just depends, you know what I'm saying? Like how I feel. Sometimes I'm like
Yeah.
Asian, I see some Asian, let's do this. And it all really depends. But to be honest with you, bro, a lot of times when it's just me, we gonna order
Yeah.
a pizza and chill because it's my job. So it means that it gives me a chance to take a break. Cause then it's
Yep.
like, you know, sometimes it's like a lot of dishes and you know what I'm saying? You ever watch a chef cook, you'll be like, damn, all this for this one meal? Yeah. So yeah, I cook if somebody do the dishes.
Yeah, you're right, man. It is a lot of work, and I figured that might have been somewhat of the answer because you need a break too at some point, man. I was like, imagine being at home and cooking yourself a three-course meal and you being the only one in the room at that time. You like, man, I spent all this time. So yeah. So man, what other aspirations do you have? Like I think you said you traveled all over. Where have you been that influenced the way that you cook, and then how did it influence that?
Um, you know, realistically, San Francisco plays a really big part of how because they have their own terminology over there, California cuisine. That's a whole food movement now.
Is it?
And so
Oh
moving from
wow.
Atlanta to San Francisco, you know, Atlanta pretty much got me prepared for the classic Southern. And then when I came on over to California, you know, they got their whole California cuisine going on. That whole farm
Mhm.
to table concept really kind of started in California. And so, you know, it's all about super fresh, you know, everything. We just killed the chicken this morning. We just picked this
Wow.
rosemary 15 minutes ago. There's lemon. You can go out in the tree and grab one. And so, like, that really helped me use a lot of more fresh ingredients and got introduced to a lot of different ingredients that I was unfamiliar with. And then more so, um, styles of cooking. You know, Baltimore is a more predominantly black and white city per se. There's not really a big Spanish or, you know, that type of an influence, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you don't really learn that cuisine. Atlanta, classic Southern, so it's not like, you know, you eating all this different stuff. But when I moved to San Francisco, such a diverse food city, then I was able to go to, you know, Russian restaurants and Yugoslavian and just all this different stuff that I was unfamiliar with just because it wasn't a calling for it within the city. So all of those places
Yeah.
deposited something in me. But London, I think, would be one of the biggest transformations for me. In all what I'm telling you about some of the things that I've been able to accomplish as a chef, at some point I had to give thanks for the things that I've accomplished. And the way to give thanks was starting a foundation called Transition Kitchen, which is a culinary arts training program that I put into underprivileged communities to kind of like showcase
Mhm.
and highlight the culinary arts industry. Because I know that, you know, in our African American communities, you know, far too many young males and, well, more so males, and leave the ladies alone on this one, but like the males want to be rappers and basketball players only, right?
Mhm.
And so, like, going there to tell them, hey, look, chefs are worth millions of dollars, and chefs got TV shows, and chef has mansions, and so there's another way to get some of the stuff that you want. That was a
Mhm.
fulfilling thing, and at some point, I was able to travel to London, pay up the United Way in Las Vegas to set up potentially a global exchange program with the students from Transition Kitchen in the U.S. to be able to go to London and hook up with some of the chefs that I've been able to meet and work with over there. So that was really one of the biggest things. First time, I mean, I went out the country to Canada, but you know that don't really count over here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
Canada
that's
played a
what
big
they
part,
say.
but London really was the thing to really go into a whole another side of the world and see how they eat and how they plate and how they season stuff and do stuff. So that helped me become a better instructor for my students because all of them couldn't go. And so by me going
Mhm.
to these places, I'm able to bring the information back and share it.
All right, give me one memory, and I'm talking about some time that either you cooked something for a client and they didn't like it, like you had to remake it, or you made it so well that they just had to come shake your hand and give you some congrats and stuff like that. What do you remember? Something that stands out.
Um, well, luckily, I haven't really had a hiccup where I just totally bombed a dish. It's a term called
Mhm.
research and development, which is like I never cook for
Yeah.
something for somebody that I haven't already mastered. And then a lot of times when I
Mhm.
get brought in on the event, you know, we probably did a tasting prior to it, so they already would to know what to expect. But one of those memories of the most fondest of memories would be through Lunel. Lunel gave me about 3 quick memories that I can never forget. One time she was cooking when I first started cooking for her. The ladder she came to my house, I cooked for her, and she started laughing. And we was filming it. It's called Industry Soup. You can kind of see the clip. And she was saying that the food's so good it got my toes crip walking. And then like we shined the camera down on her feet, and she was like doing a happy feet dance with the food. That shit was hilarious. Another funny story with Lunel one time, right before I became her personal chef. It was her birthday. I had asked her, could I come out and cater the party? And, we hooked it all up. So I ended up going to the party. She didn't know what I was going to make. She said, Stu, you're a chef. I got guests coming. Just do whatever a chef's supposed to do. So I created this whole menu, turned everything into like this little small hand-passed hors d'oeuvre type of a feel. That way we can have a lot of food. We have a little bit of a lot of stuff. That way it should be something for everybody. And so I made some chicken salad. One of my signature things that I do is this really cool chicken salad. I made the chicken salad the night prior to the event. And then she asked me, like, is there anything done in here? I was like, nah, everything will be ready tomorrow. But you know what? This chicken salad is done. So if you want a sandwich, I make you a sandwich. So she said, yeah, go ahead and make me a sandwich. So I made her a sandwich. And then I left. It was getting late. I said, all right, so look, I'm going to go ahead to where I'm staying at. I'll be back tomorrow, finish up everything. And so when I came back the next day, I'm looking for the chicken salad. And then I'm like, where the fuck is the chicken salad at? So she comes back in the kitchen. And then I said, no, did you see the chicken salad? She said, baby, that chicken salad was so good. I made me 2 more sandwiches after you. I ate all of that shit. It was my party anyway. But yeah, that was one of the funniest things ever. You know what I'm saying? It was like, well, your guests won't get none, but at least you enjoyed it. So we in. And from that, I became my personal chef strictly off the chicken salad. And to be honest, there's a clip on YouTube where we made a video talking about that, where she called me one time and she said, I'll be in Baltimore in 3 days. Fly out there and make me some chicken salad. And lo and behold, I flew to the event and I went to her show. And after it was over, we made a video. She said, this chicken salad is amazing. I had to fly them in just to make me some.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. That's a good memory right there. So, man, you got kids, man. How many kids you got?
I got 3. Thank you for asking.
3?
Grizzy, Little Rock, and Zola.
And what's their ages?
20, 14, and 2.
You have them interested in cooking, following in Dad's footsteps?
My oldest son, no. I probably burnt him out because realistically, I had him doing lollipops and doing chicken. And as soon as he got old enough to tell me no, I ain't seen his ass yet. My daughter,
gone.
she's with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm grooming her now to actually take the business over at some point. And then my little man, he's so little right now. He's kind of like my brother to me. He's my taste tester. Anything I give him, he eat it. So it's like I like having him around because if I need somebody to say the food good, just give it to him, and he'll definitely smash it.
Nice. Yeah, that's good, man. So, man, I got a question. You got anything that you don't like making? I know everybody has their favorites that they love to make, or that people say is the best tasting dish. What is it that is like your biggest dislike? Not that you can't do it, but what's your big preparation?
I mean, no, really to me, bacon. Bacon, the whole dessert world. That's not really my world, honestly. I like to, cook and I can add a little bit more of this. Oh, I put a little bit of this. Let me add that. Bacon is so precise. You probably heard people say that all the time. Like bacon isn't a pinch of this, a pinch of that. Is like 3 pinches of this, no pinches of it. Like you have to be exact with what it is you do. And if you don't follow something to the letter, you can look at it and you'll be able to somewhat tell. And so, a lot of times when I do events and they ask about the dessert options, I do have options that I can do, but I always refer it out to pastry chefs so that they can come in and really put that same amount of energy and love and time into the presentation of what they're doing. And so I'm so focused on the food that I'll give you these beautiful dishes and then I might offer you a fruit salad for dessert. You know what I'm saying? Versus bringing in somebody who really would do something with the caramelized this and the candy sculptures and the sugar glazed, all that. That's not my world. How much do you charge? Great. All right, I got an event for you. So if you're a pastry chef, holla at me because when I get events, I do bring in pastry chefs to help impress the client.
Yeah, gotcha. Understand that. So what is this? Saw something on your site called shrimp lollipops with sausage and pepper gravy and quattro
Um,
cheese grits. Explain that one. Sounds good.
so that's one of my signature. There I go again. See how many signatures you done
Yeah.
got on me in one interview? Yeah, you noticing
Yeah.
everything is a signature. But no, this is one of my another signature things I specialize in. So I'm Chef Stew, and so Stew Sticks is my fast casual concept. So you think of fast
Mm.
casual concepts, not to lose you. Chipotle is considered a fast casual concept, Panda Express. So it's like a step down from fine dining restaurants because you don't have to sit down to eat your food. And then a step up, so to speak, from, fast food places because it's not just burgers and fries. And so Stew
Yeah.
Sticks falls right into that same umbrella of 10 signature lollipops, 10 signature sides and sauces. And so everything is a lollipop. Everything is a Stew Sticks. We got the lamb lollipops, cauliflower couscous, scallop lollipops, citrus quinoa, and then the one that you just pointed out, the shrimp lollipops with the smoky Gouda mac and cheese grit. I mean, the cheesy grits, which formaggio really is just four cheeses, is an Italian term. Formaggio just means four different cheeses are incorporated. So just to give it that little Italian class
Yeah.
southern spin. And so that's what's
Hmm.
considered a fusion dish when you take something from Italy and something from, you know, Rio de Janeiro, and you're kind of time all in together. And so the shrimp lollipops with the grits is one of my signature hits, and I kind of spin that off a little bit to the breakfast place sometimes. But then
Hmm.
shrimp and grits then became so popular that people eat that for dinner now.
Yeah, I believe it. I eat grits for dinner sometimes too. Real talk.
No, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
actually I'm on set now with a chef called Chef Gason um, from a show called Full of Flavor. He's actually filming today, and his first dish was shrimp and grits. So just ironically, I just ate grits about 20 minutes ago, and it was amazing.
Wow. Yeah, man. Man, oh man, I missed somebody on your list of clientele, Miss Chalet. What can you tell me about her taste preferences, or what have you done with her?
Well, the chalet was a client and kind of like my girlfriend, all in the same breath. But no,
Oh,
to
that's
be honest
different.
with you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, we just did merge boot camp not too long ago, so people say that. But no, initially, in some of those pictures, she had I met her at Lunel's house, and I was cooking for a Christmas party then. And so she came kind of late, and all the food was gone. So it was like everybody was talking about how good the food was, and she just was like, "I keep hearing how good this food is, but I didn't get to try it, so I ain't gonna say that you're a good chef until I try something." And then she
Yeah.
eventually had her a performance in Baltimore, and we went, and I went over there to support, and I catered the after party. Um, and so like she's a steak girl, she's a chicken girl, she likes fine dining, you know what I'm saying? She likes it all. So
Yeah.
I kind of wowed her over with my crab cakes and my shrimp and the shrimp lollipops and the chicken lollipops and the Gouda mac and cheese. And so like every now and then I get to sneak something in on her. But for the most part,
Yeah.
that's pretty much how that went down. So that was
You know,
that was a little bit more of a client. It turned into a little bit more than a client.
you know what's
I
funny
broke the
about this?
professionalism, and me and the client started hanging out for real.
You know what's crazy about this is I didn't realize this was you.
Yeah, no. So when you said that, I was like, well, maybe he dodged it because um, some people you try not to really talk about that too much after the marriage boot camp ordeal and the way that the show was shot, and it just left everybody just not knowing what was what. And so we kind of just basically just kind of just moved past all that. If it comes through, I answer it. So when you said that, I thought that you was being slick trying to disguise a marriage boot camp question in there for me. But now you did get the real answer anyway, so it all worked out. And yes, it's me, Stu from Marriage Boot Camp, who just was in there kicking it with the legendary singer-songwriter Michelle. Did I lose you? Did I lose you? Did I lose you?
Hey, Chef Stu?
Okay, yeah, I thought I lost you for a minute. I was about to hang up. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, there was something weird happened in there. But man, so I'm gonna get right back into it. I didn't know that was you. So, you know what the crazy thing about it is, I didn't watch the show. I caught pieces of it, but it's because my wife was watching the show, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting." I didn't watch much of it, but anyway, I'm glad you answered the question and that you confirmed that, and it's all good.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's
man,
all good.
yeah, all good. Hey, man. So, yeah, I think, is there anything else you want to talk about in regards with you finding motivation? Because I know in my industry and others industry, everybody is they get burned out, and sometimes they do certain things like hobbies or whatnot to get motivated or back into the mind state of what they're set out to do, what they're destined to do. What types of things do you do to stay motivated and kind of in the pocket of your craft?
To be honest with you, man, it really the motivation comes with reaching out, helping everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Seldom do people get to the top and really share their ideas, and so that's something that collectively we need to unify a little bit differently and do because it is such a cutthroat for industry as far as the music, the culinary. I mean, a lot of similarities and all of it. And so, like the motivation for me is just being comfortable with the blessings that God has bestowed upon me, and then sharing the knowledge with other people to try to get them to attain, it's not a rat race. They may go further or get close, who knows, but just still. So I work with a lot of different chefs, man, and I give them, you know, as much insight as I can possibly do. And so if you notice, I just launched a channel called Music and Food Channel available on the Voozle app. So if you guys are familiar with Voozle, that's cool. If you're not, then download the Voozle app, search for the Music and Food Channel. And actually, what I've been doing over the last couple of months, I would say, is basically helping produce food shows. So if you are listening and you think you
Hmm.
got what it takes to get your own food show, definitely reach out to the Music and Food Channel on Instagram. You'll see us. We got the clef symbol with the knife coming straight down it. And so like I just told you today, I'm on set with a
Nice.
chef from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? And so like me and him working, and he's teaching me things. I'm teaching him. It's not that I got all the information. That, you know what I'm saying? I learn from people
Yeah.
too. So it's that humbleness of, all right, even though Stu got all this going on and he can do this, he can do that, I still humbled myself down to be that sponge. And so to the listeners,
Yeah.
I would say, remember, delayed doesn't mean denied. Sometimes things don't happen in the time that you think that they would. And so if you can just
True.
find a way to stay encouraged, even though the ship is sinking, you see what I'm saying? You still got to find a way
Yeah.
to be happy that you ain't drowning yet. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a term that Michelle says a lot about unapologetically hypocrite. And so like I laughed at that, but it's really so true because it's like I wake up every day and I'm expecting great things to happen, right? And
Yeah.
then at the
Love
same
it.
time, when a great thing doesn't happen, I don't lose my cool to the point where I feel like it's not going to happen. It's almost like a wake up every day and expect, you know what I'm saying? Some like the puppy
Hmm.
at the pound. Every day he's running around the cage. Today is going to be the day that somebody is going to come and get me, and people passing by and they don't get him. Then he has to wake up the next day and still say it again. Most people after the third day be like, "Fuck, nobody wants me." But I'm the puppy
Yeah.
that's gonna
Right.
wake up every day and still run to the front of the cage and wiggle my tail and do everything I can do to be seen. You know what I'm saying? And eventually somebody
Yeah.
does come and get you. So I would just say that in your journey, keep yourself motivated. I don't care what if it's a song, great. If it's a scripture, great. If it's an affirmation, great. If it's um, you know, 10 push-ups, yoga, you know what I'm saying? Getting on friends' phones with people who, you know what I'm saying? But every day, man, you got to
Hmm.
refuel your own tank. I mean, you think about your car. After a while, the car runs out of gas. It don't go nowhere. Your body is the same way. So make sure that when you go put in $20 on pump six, put $1 on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
shout
No
out to
doubt.
the homie Emery because he always says, Steve, bet on yourself. So
Yeah,
bet on
you're right.
yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's real talk, man. So, man, we really at the end of this interview right now, man. It was a pleasure speaking with you. For anybody that may not have tuned in earlier, we got Chef Stu, also known as literally Robert Stewart, out from Baltimore. He is also known as the celebrity chef because he's doing big things, man. Can you give us a shout out before we end this call
Yeah,
for
no,
Shut 'em Down
definitely,
Radio?
man. Shut 'em Down Radio. I want to send my love. Chef Stu is in the building. Better yet, the kitchen on Show Your Love Radio. Gotta send some love to Perfect Legacy Promotions for the alley oop to make sure that I could even get on this phone with y'all. If you are listening, please go to chef_Stu on Instagram. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it easy for y'all. Hashtag Chef Stu on all social media platforms. Google, LinkedIn, Siri, Alexa, anybody. Just type in hashtag Chef Stu and get familiar with your boy. Come on over to my page. I do talk back as much as I can. So if you guys got some questions or some answers, definitely holler at me. And I do want to leave on this note. I got a new show dropping called How To with Chef Stu. The show's whole premise is to interact with the public. So if you have any questions on how to do something culinary arts related, please go to howtowithchefstu@gmail.com. Send me in your question. And if I like the question or I got an answer for the question, I will select it and then I will roll it into an episode and dedicate the show to you. So make sure that you guys, you want to know how to fry chicken? Ask Chef Stu. You want to know how to stuff a duck? Ask Chef Stu. You don't know how to make lasagna? Ask Chef Stu. And then you send in those how-to questions and I'll answer them. First cooking show where you can talk directly to the chef of the show. So America, I'm yours. Now bring me your questions so I can answer them.
Yeah, man, you're killing it, man. For real. This is big, man. So, man, we're going to get off this call. I do appreciate you being on. Man, you are welcome to come back anytime. We would love to have a follow-up interview with you in the near future and see what you got going on at that time. But for now, man, I appreciate it. Man, so I would say enjoy your night, enjoy your weekend, and we'll get back to you real soon.
You got it, brother. Thank you. And I look forward to actually meeting you and letting you taste them damn shrimp lollipops with that 4 Maggio grits.
It's going down. It's going down. All right, man. I appreciate it. Peace. Chef Stewart out.
Have a good day, bro.
You too.
All right, friend.